Tension. Kinetic. Tension.
Historically, the marginalized people, you call them as untouchables or Dalits, they have been kept away from the center of the knowledge. Once you are born into a caste, it is very difficult for you to grow beyond that. You are stuck in that identity. I think education is the best way of liberating them. So that's how I chose to work in education sector. The kind of education that we are giving to the marginalized people is going to change not just the fate of these communities in Telangana, but it is going to be the source of inspiration, source of hope for all the marginalized in this country.
Greatest blight in India is the system of caste.
For generations of Indians, the social code known as the caste system has defined how people earn a living and whom they marry. Although outlawed 7 decades ago, castes remain a significant factor in deciding everything, from family ties and cultural traditions to educational and economic opportunities. Dalits, people who are on the lowest rung of the caste system, constitute almost 1/5 of India's population of 1.3 billion. Not able to afford the high tuition of private schools, many are forced to attend government-funded institutions, which in the past have suffered from poor infrastructure, lower education standards, and high student-to-teacher ratios. But Dr. Praveen Kumar is trying to change that.
I am currently working as head of Telangana Social Welfare Residential Schools. So totally above 400 schools I manage. These are all residential schools for the students who are historically marginalized but talented and then poor.
My friend also
Of them, 60% are girls and then 40% are boys, because girls are more marginalized among the marginalized. Their voices are always suppressed. My approach to improve the conditions in the schools has been put your eyes and ears on the ground always. Talk to the parents, talk to the teachers, talk to the students, stay in the schools and then understand their problems, their challenges, both in classrooms and then the corridors and the dorms. Then go to the dining halls and see what kind of food they are eating, and then go to their homes and then what kind of food they are getting and what kind of challenges the parents have. Very good. And class? One of the important changes that I brought in after I took over was to complete the transformation of mother tongue to English medium, because English medium, as I said, English is the language of emancipation. A language that connects you to the whole body of knowledge in the world. So we had to train a lot of teachers.
refer to the dictionary also, okay, and find out the new meanings, as well as the ones described about. Hey Richita, how are you? Hi Sindhu, fine, thank you. And how about you? I'm fine too. It's been a long time.
Identity is extremely important. There is a scientific evidence to prove that your sense of identity is extremely crucial to your growth as a successful human being in your life. If you accept an identity which is very humiliating, which reminds you of very painful past, I think that identity will not help you to grow. I'm not saying that you should forget your past. I'm not saying that, but that should not be the bubble in which you must live always. Sweros is an alternative identity. S stands for state, W stands for welfare, Aero, SW and then Aero is Swero. So the idea is your dreams have to be skybound. So that is what we are trying to achieve by changing the identities. Like, you say, I'm a Swero and I aim to be a doctor. I am a Swero, I aim to be a top-notch engineer. I am a Swero, I aim to be a top bureaucrat of this country. I'm a Swero, I want to be a very good actor or a musician in this world. So these are the positive images that are associated with the identity. Just to give an example to you, in 2012, in our institution we used to produce about 6 doctors per year. But because of our this self-liberating ideology of spheroism, we have this year we have produced about 189 doctors. This is phenomenal for any poorest of the poor people. You know how difficult it is to get into a medical colleges in this country. So, but today, because of this ideology, the students have been able to achieve this, feat. Pujita has been a farm laborer, and her parents themselves are agricultural laborers. And then this girl used to sell vegetables, but thanks to the residential education institutions, she came to the Gaulidoddi campus, and then she toiled very hard for 1 year, despite many problems. And today, I'm so happy to share with you that she has joined one of the prestigious medical colleges in the state of Telangana, Usmania Medical College, and then in future, she hopes to be a gynecologist. So this is the journey our children are hoping for. Similarly, the Mount Everest expedition. Mount Everest expedition, we are very fortunate enough to place the youngest ever female in the history of this world on the peak of Mount Everest. How did this happen? It's all because of an ideology that helps you to liberate yourself. We brought a lot of extracurricular activities and most of them got institutionalized now. So for example, music. Similarly, the games. We have so many coaching academy. We have boxing academy, we have wrestling academy, we have handball academy. So we have kabaddi, the traditional Indian sport. We have golf. We have introduced the golf also. Like golf is generally played by so-called rich people, but today even poorest of the poor people also are being trained in golf in our schools. Wow. So our intention has been to give all 360 degrees, type of opportunities to the students, so that whoever is interested in whatever activity, they can go and then do it. Break the barriers, break the fence, at least mentally, because poor people have been programmed to be victims, programmed to be subjugated, programmed to be on the margins, always, programmed to feel inferior. We wanted to change all that. There are certain games which are exclusive to rich people. There are certain languages which are exclusive to middle class and upper middle class in this country. To put it in one word, the sole aim of introducing all these co-curricular activities is to break the stereotypes which are recklessly imposed on these people.
Their stereotypes Dr. Kumar knows all too well. Born a Dalit, his grandparents were labourers and access to the village well was restricted. Dr. Kumar credits his parents' belief in the power of education with helping him realise his aspirations. He went on to join the Indian Police Service, attended Harvard University, and then began pursuing educational reforms back home.
I attribute whatever I am today, it's to my mother primarily. They educated me in the village, although there were no good schools. So then I stayed in social welfare hostels, the hostels which are managed by government for the poorest of the poor kids. I passed with reasonably good grades. Then I went to university, and then I faced worst form of discrimination in the universities. Like there were in those days I'm talking about. So the bathrooms and the toilets were exclusively meant for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. We used to fight discrimination on one hand, and then again try to excel in academics, day in and day out. So that's how I came to education, because I deeply believe that education is the only important weapon that can really, place the poorest of the poor people from a very victimhood orbit to a prosperous orbit. I think in future, this is going to be a game changer for the marginalized in this country.